Good day, Harlequin here. In this video we'll be continuing the comparison and focusing on gameplay aspects of both games, and don't forget to watch part 1 if you haven't already. Now, as I said before in my introduction, it's difficult to say a hack and slash is better than a fighter or a fighter is better than a hack and slash, because there are different types. However, I'm approaching this from the perspective of a One Piece fan. I'm asking which One Piece game is better. As a One Piece fan, like, which do I prefer? This is how I'm approaching it. This is I'm not sure if I made it clear in my introduction previously, but this is what I'm going for. So One Piece is set in a world where many people have different powers and skills, and the most fun part of learning characters in both games is finding out how these powers are integrated into the gameplay. In Pirate Warriors, this usually manifests as casting unusual status effects on enemies, like Ace can set enemies on fire, Brook can put enemies to sleep, Hancock can petrify people, etc. But there are also little quirks worked into the move list, like Luffy's limbs can stretch further if you hold down buttons, and Perona can also leave her body as a spirit, which I've shown before in previous videos. In Burning Blood, they use the concept of abilities, so basically with elemental characters, they're called Logia types in the anime. They're immune to physical strikes. Now this seems really overpowered, but if the opponent has a haki ability, it's like a different type of power, they can use that to attack them, because in the anime haki beats elemental power. So it seems like a smart idea to match this in the game. However, there are some characters like Nami, Usopp, Chopper, etc. who neither have an elemental power or haki, so they have to be smart and use evasive abilities instead. So in this way, you could say that all the abilities are useful in some way, which is really good. Evasiveness in Pirate Warriors, on the other hand, consists of this sort of awkward jerky check move, which I usually end up having to spam because it doesn't really work properly. Now, there's a big focus on supports in Pirate Warriors. Normal attacks fill up a support bar called a Kizuna gauge, and when the bar is on level 2 or something, your supports will come out automatically and attack with you, which is like really awesome. But a big problem is that you can't choose your supports in the game, which is really odd. And this really upsets me, because when I'm playing free modes like Dreamlog, I end up being paired with characters that I don't like Burgess or Kuma, and it's just really annoying that way. When it comes to awakenings, all characters in Pirate Warriors have pretty much the same awakening template, except they usually have nice effects in Pirate Warriors, but in Burning Blood they have unique cutscenes. However, they lack impact, with the exception of Luffy's 4th gear awakening. Now, supers in Pirate Warriors depends heavily on support characters that you have, because supports participate in the super attack, and you can see why it can be annoying when there's a support that you don't like on your team. It's like it really gets in the way. And unique to this game is the name of the support's super move will combine with the main character's super move to make a unique team attack name. So if you had, say, Luffy and Nami on your team, you could end up with a super move called like Cannon Tempo or something. And you can get some really interesting and funny names just because of the variety in the characters, which is really interesting. Burning Blood, on the other hand, has a more self-centered approach, which lends to its 1v1 fighter style, and it focuses mainly on making the main character look as badass as possible. If the super is the final hit in the match, there are extra cutscenes to enjoy and remind the opponent that they are well and truly done for. So let's talk more about how the games attempt to impress and surprise the gamer. Now, in Burning Blood, they have character intros that change based on who is on each team, and a lot of these are really hilarious. I love character intros because I really think they're a really good way to get you hyped before a fight, and I really miss having them. I haven't seen them since I played this different game, Ninja Storm 3. That's like a Naruto game, and they used to have character intros, but they don't so much anymore, so it's just interesting to see them back again. I've mentioned Dreamlog quite negatively before in part 1 in relation to unlocking characters, but it is actually an interesting change of pace to the standard story mode setup, because most stages have like a theme, like Pirates versus Marines or something, and it randomly generates supports and objectives for the battle, and this means you get a different experience each time, which is really good. But you can also see like really interesting scenarios that you would never see in the anime, like Luffy fighting Nami or Doflamingo fighting alongside the Straw Hat Pirates and things like that. And in Burning Blood, their equivalent is something called Pirate Flag Battle, which is really similar in the way you hop islands, and basically you beat enemies on each island, but the difference here is that you can essentially claim the island as your territory along with other players who share the same flag, which is just epic. Also, I know I keep describing Burning Blood as a 1v1 game, but you can actually play 9 on 9, so you can actually make your own pirate crew and fight like 9 characters versus 9 characters, which is just amazing. You can like go classic and choose all the Straw Hat Pirates, or you can become like really creative and choose your own favorite characters and like customize and make your own crew, which is like really good. Obviously the first thing I tried to do was make an all-girls pirate crew, which is like really satisfying. If only I had Monet to add to the team. If Monet was in the game, she would definitely be the pirate captain, but there you go. Speaking of girls, you find that their clothes are made of paper instead of normal materials like cotton or denim, so for some reason they tend to fall apart during fights. And note that male characters, or the male clothes are completely unaffected, which is weird. But Harlequin, you don't get it because you're a girl and it's really hot when girls' clothes fall off during a fight. Yeah. I see where you're coming from. But it's still really annoying. Like, I mean, I wouldn't mind if the guys' clothes also got roughed up as well. I mean, that would actually add some impact to the fight. And I wouldn't even mind if this was something that happened in the anime, but it doesn't. So to me, it's just pointless. On the topic of treating women differently, one of Sanji's character traits is that he can't attack women, and this manifests in really interesting ways in both games. In Pirate Warriors, he can't strike females, but it does chip away a small amount of their health, whereas in Burning Blood, all of his moveset is replaced with love hearts, which is just so hilarious. But it's also kind of sad because if you main Sanji like Kelvin does, there's like a good chunk of characters that you simply can never win against. And you can imagine Kelvin who wants to play Sanji, and then I want to play with only girl characters. You could see his dilemma. Like, it's really funny. But that point is really faithful to the series. I mean, Sanjay has said in the past that I would rather die than kick a woman. Like, that's what he said in the anime. So it's accurate, you know? So if given the choice between character accuracy and gameplay, I think I would choose character accuracy, because that's just how I am. It would just be weird to see Sanji kick a woman. It just wouldn't be right. In other instances of character traits affecting game playability is like the screen going blurry when Tashiki takes off her glasses in Pirate Warriors, or Luffy's weakened state when he shrinks as a side effect of third gear, things like that. However, it is notable that Zoro doesn't have a sense of direction in the anime, yet he can still use the map in Pirate Warriors. And I've seen people make the comment that if they were being true to the character, then they would remove the map whilst playing as him because he has no sense of direction. But if you want, you can actually manually remove the map, so you can still roleplay as Zoro if you want. It just isn't automatic, but that's fine. In both games, Luffy is still harmed by thunder, even though he should be immune since he's made of rubber. I mean, I'm not quite sure why that's the case. I think Possibly because people would say he's too overpowered if he's immune to thunder, but that's just how it is. In Pirate Warriors, you can use the options button to do sort of a mini customization, like donning or removing hats, bandanas, or sunglasses. And for some characters, you can do like a taunt gesture as well. And I think this is really, really cute, and it's just like a really nice extra that shows off the character's individuality. Finally, let's talk a bit about the story scope, like how much of the anime both games cover. So would you rather play a One Piece game that lets you play through all of the One Piece story so far except for the end of the Dressrosa arc, or play through only the Marineford arc? Which one would you choose? I mean, it's a pretty obvious choice here, so Pirate Warriors definitely takes this one. Like I said before, there's so much nostalgia in playing through the whole story. It's almost like a summary of most of the anime so far, so it really helps you appreciate how much everyone has grown.